Hi, and thanks for joining today's talk. My name's James Altucher. I'm a Wall Street Journal bestselling author, former hedge fund manager, former computer scientist. And if you're looking to cash in on this artificial intelligence boom, then look no further than the device on your screen. What you're looking at is, honestly, it's one of the greatest technological achievements of the 21st century. Bloomberg calls it the world's most important technology. The Financial Times says it's the hottest commodity in Silicon Valley. And the Wall Street Journal reports it's the lifeblood of AI. But in the next 30 seconds, you might as well just call it the biggest money-making opportunity of your entire life. This is something I call the AI Crown Jewel. It is set to disrupt the entire global economy. It's going to unlock trillions in new wealth. And it's the only technology in the world that can unleash the next generation of artificial intelligence. That's why tech giants like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, even Elon Musk, they are spending billions of dollars to secure this disruptive device just as it's ramping into mass production right now. But here's the part of the story that will separate those who will miss the boat from those who will seize this opportunity. So please, please listen carefully. The crown jewel is sold by an AI giant that you've probably heard of before, Nvidia. Nvidia is a company that one analyst says has monopolized the economics of AI. That explains why they're making an estimated 1,000% profit on every single crown jewel sold. It's an absolute cash cow. But here is the twist. Nvidia doesn't actually make this device. Instead, every single crown jewel, the one you see from the manufacturing clip on your screen right now, is supplied by one single mysterious company and nobody else. Meaning, Nvidia's little-known supplier currently has a monopoly on the crown jewel. It's the crown jewel of AI. It's the only company in the world that makes this technology, and it's a golden opportunity for you to cash in on the AI boom. But you'll want to move fast, that's the key, because the AI boom of today could be just like the tech boom of the 90s, where companies that built some of the most highly sought-after technologies, crown jewel-like technologies, unlocked the power of the internet and made an absolute fortune for investors, like Intel as an example. It nearly had a monopoly on computer chips, a crown jewel technology that unlocked the personal computing market. As a result, shares soared 58 times in 10 years. Then there's Qualcomm. It held a library of patents for wireless technology, another crown jewel type of technology that paved the way for mobile devices. Guess what? Shares exploded 223 times over the same period. And then there's Cisco. It built routers and other computer networking products, crown jewel technologies that laid the foundational pillars for the internet. It went up an amazing 1,000 times over 10 years, enough to turn every $1,000 investment into $1 million. That's pretty impressive, right? But there's just one big difference between the internet boom of yesterday and the AI boom of tomorrow. AI is going to be bigger, much bigger. In fact, one tech expert predicts AI will be worth $150 trillion in the next 5 years. And just to put that in perspective, back in 2000, when everyone thought the internet was just hype, global GDP was $33 trillion. But today, the internet by itself is worth far more than that. It's worth about $50 trillion. And now the future of AI, it's set to eclipse that figure, and I truly believe this as well. It's set to eclipse that figure at $150 trillion. And as you're about to see with your own two eyes, this $150 trillion megatrend runs through this one tiny little AI device, the AI Crown Jewel. That means investors who own the supplier behind this world-changing technology could see a massive windfall. And that's why I believe this little-known crown jewel supplier is the #1 investment for the AI revolution. But as I said, you don't have much time to act. The crown jewel is ramping up into mass production right now. In fact, this supplier is on track to ship out more than 500,000 of these crown jewels this year. And they're slated to pump out nearly 2 million crown jewels next year. That means if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, now is the time to do it. And here's why. Since big tech is spending billions to secure the crown jewel, demand for this device is simply through the roof. And look, I'm not the only one saying this. Barron's reports demand is off the charts. Believe it or not, demand for the crown jewel is so high that one analyst is even predicting that Nvidia's AI revenues will skyrocket 10 times over the next few years. That's a sales surge of 1,000%. And the mysterious supplier riding along Nvidia's sales surge, they're pumping out these crown jewels as fast as they can. In fact, there's currently a buying panic in Silicon Valley to secure this technology. The former director of AI at Tesla recently shared an article proving how access to the crown jewel is becoming top gossip among Silicon Valley insiders. A tech publication reported which companies are getting access to Nvidia's hard-to-come-by, ultra-expensive high-performance AI crown jewel is becoming the top gossip of Silicon Valley. So when you connect the dots, you'll clearly see demand for the crown jewel is showing no signs of slowing down. For example, Elon Musk personally bought 10,000 crown jewels. He said this technology is considerably harder to get than drugs. And big tech, they've already placed billions of dollars in orders. And according to rumors swirling from Silicon Valley, they're placing billions more. Facebook needs 100,000 crown jewels. Google might want 30,000 each. Amazon, Microsoft, and Oracle, they might want 30,000 each as well. But it's not just big tech that's going all in on the crown jewel. Silicon Valley is swooping in as well. According to Business Insider, venture capitalists are personally snapping up crown jewels as fast as they can. They're building a stash and hoarding this disruptive device. Most people don't know this, but the crown jewel is so precious and so valuable that one startup even used its stash of crown jewels as collateral to secure more than $2 billion of debt. So banks really value this as well. You heard this right. This technology is so prized and so highly sought after that companies are using it as debt collateral. But between you and me, that's not even the biggest part of this story, because this device is so powerful and so disruptive that great powers are getting involved. They're stepping in on the global stage. For example, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are buying crown jewels by the thousands. What's more, the United States is throwing their hat in the ring as well. The White House issued a trade restriction that chokes off China's access to this powerful device. The New York Times called what they did an act of war. In effect, it's an AI blockade against China. It's a way for the U.S. to maintain their technological dominance over foreign adversaries, and ultimately to secure access to this coveted technology. That is the crown jewel. Let me be perfectly clear. Our world is quickly being divided into two parts. From over here, there's big tech, Silicon Valley, the global stage of geopolitics, which is those who have the technology will control the future of artificial intelligence and in turn control the future of our world, while those who don't will be left in the dust. Semi-Analyst, a well-respected research firm, even sees exactly what I'm seeing. They say the world is being split into the crown jewel rich and the crown jewel poor. But that explains why I felt obligated to bring you this urgent presentation. I want to make sure you're on the right side of history. I want you to have the chance to profit from this world-changing megatrend, because tech giants who harness the power of this device will become some of the wealthiest and most powerful entities on Earth. That explains why OpenAI, the famous startup behind ChatGPT, is rumored to be working on a new project that will require 10 million crown jewels. And considering that a single crown jewel costs $40,000 a piece, that's $400 billion in orders just by itself. Naturally, with so much money on the line, this tech device is already making investors rich. You may remember when Nvidia joined the $1 trillion club after it shocked Wall Street with blowout earnings. It added $184 billion to its market cap in just one day. Historically speaking, it was one of the biggest one-day stock gains of all time. That gain was so big, in fact, that it was even bigger than the entire market cap of its main competitor, Intel. What's more, the stock surge made Nvidia CEO, 60-year-old Jensen Huang, $6.5 billion richer in less than 24 hours. He's now one of the wealthiest AI billionaires in the world. And yet, here's the thing nobody is telling you. Nvidia's fortune-making boom is all thanks to this obscure device, the one their CEO is holding in his hand right here. That's it, right there. That's the A.I Crown Jewel. This breakthrough technology is truly that powerful. It's moving the market, it's minting billions, and it's doing it at a speed that we've never seen before. But of course, if you missed out on Nvidia's big run to $1 trillion market cap, it's too late. Those gains are gone. That's the bad news. The good news, the supplier behind Nvidia's crown jewel is still flying under the radar. It's set to ride alongside this $150 trillion AI megatrend. And thanks to exploding demand for this device, I predict this little-known supplier could even become the next trillion-dollar stock. After all, when big companies launch big breakthroughs, supplier stocks can absolutely soar. Just take Apple, for example. Back in the 2000s, it launched a breakthrough technology that honestly changed the world, the iPhone. But watch this. The little-known suppliers behind the iPhone also delivered huge returns for shareholders as well. Like, look at Micron, as much as 19 times since then, or Skyworks, up as much as 29 times, and Broadcom, up as much as 78 times. And now, the mysterious supplier behind the crown jewel is handing everyday folks the investment opportunity of the decade. In just a moment, you'll see how the crown jewel will change the world. You'll see how it will deeply affect your day-to-day life, impacting everything from the cost of your prescription medication to the way you travel across the country. Plus, you'll also see how to act on this opportunity for maximum profit potential. But first, you may be wondering why I'm uniquely qualified to bring you this life-changing story. As I said earlier, my name is James Altucher. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've co-founded more than 20 companies, and I'm an advisor to many, many more. And if my name sounds familiar, maybe you've listened to my top-rated podcast with tens of millions of downloads called The James Altucher Show, where I've interviewed some of the greatest investors and business minds of our generation, like the billion-dollar hedge fund manager Ray Dalio, or Shark Tank investors Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary. Or maybe you've seen me on mainstream business television, or I've made some shocking predictions that turned out to be true. Like, let's reel it back, 2007, I went on CNBC and I said Facebook would eventually become a $100 billion company. At the time, they literally laughed me out of the room. But 5 years later, CNBC published an apology letter because I was right. CNBC said, on July 25th, 2007, he told us, meaning me, he told us Facebook should have a $100 billion market cap. At the time, we snickered. Now, some pros think $100 billion is cheap. His forecast was far more accurate than we would have ever expected. That's what they wrote. Since then, Facebook has climbed to $1 trillion valuation, far surpassing even my own prediction. So, of course, after that, CNBC asked me for another hot take. This time it was 2010. And I told them Apple would become the world's first trillion-dollar company and even hit a $3 trillion market cap. Keep in mind, Apple was only valued at $300 billion back then. So again, they said I was nuts. They said that. But of course, you probably know what happened next, else I wouldn't be describing this story. Apple not only became the world's first trillion-dollar stock, but also became the world's first $3 trillion company, soaring more than 18 times ever since my big call. And then, a few years later, in 2013, I went live on CNBC to promote my best-selling book, Choose Yourself. I was selling it online through a Bitcoin-only store, which I had coded up myself. The news anchor mocked me. He accused me of pulling a marketing stunt for backing Bitcoin. But you probably know what happened next. Bitcoin became one of the best performing assets of the decade, soaring as much as 50,000% since then, and even hitting $1 trillion market cap itself. For every single one of these predictions, the mainstream media said I was crazy. So if you missed the boat on breakthrough technologies, it's not your fault. As you can see from my own experience, the media loves to disregard ideas that aren't their own. But that explains why I put together today's urgent presentation. I don't have time to wait for the press to reach out to me. Instead, I want to bring this urgent story directly to you. Because out of all the technology booms that I've seen over the past 30 years, from the rise of the internet to the spread of social media and multiple run-ups in crypto, I believe the crown jewel of artificial intelligence presents one of the best investing opportunities that I have ever seen. I am so excited by this. After all, the $150 trillion AI megatrend runs through this one tiny little device. Its impact will be felt deeper than some of the most powerful crown jewel technologies of the internet, which threw off some of the most rare and exceptional gains in stock market history, like Intel's impact on the personal computing market, which caused it to soar 58 times in 10 years, or Qualcomm's impact on mobile technology, up 223 times over the same period, and Cisco's impact on internet infrastructure, which exploded 1,000 times over a decade. Now, obviously, no one can promise returns like these, but yet no other opportunity holds the kind of money-making potential as the crown jewel of artificial intelligence. Personally, I believe this is 100% true, simply for one key reason. It was in the early 90s. I was in the doctoral program at Carnegie Mellon University, the place where artificial intelligence was practically invented back in the 1950s, and I was working on an AI supercomputer called Deep Thought. It was one of the first AI supercomputers, one of the first AI systems ever created. It was so advanced, I garnered attention from IBM, and I ended up advising scientists on a new AI supercomputer called Deep Blue when they were at IBM. Deep Blue was designed for one purpose: to prove that machines could outthink the smartest men on the planet and become a real form of intelligence that the world had never seen. So IBM put Deep Blue to the test, and they pitted Deep Blue against one of the greatest chess players of all time and a personal friend of mine, Garry Kasparov. What happened next? Deep Blue ended up defeating Garry Kasparov. It was the first time a computer had ever beaten the world chess champion. Computers beat humans, and it shocked everyone. Again, it was the first time in history a computer beat the world chess champion. No one believed it could happen. I was extremely proud of this moment and extremely proud of the work I had put into this project because a superior form of AI had been born, a technology that would eventually change the world, which, by the way, brings me all the way back to the AI Crown Jewel, a disruptive device that will unlock the next generation of artificial intelligence and mint trillions of dollars in new wealth at the same time. So I'm sure you may be wondering by now, what exactly is the AI Crown Jewel? Well, the short version is the Crown Jewel is the fastest AI chip in the world. The slightly longer version is that today's AI models require 10 billion times more computing power than the AI models of 10 years ago, as you can see from this incredible chart right here. In other words, computing has now unlocked, it's now fast enough to unlock the potential of AI. The Crown Jewel is the only AI chip in the world that can deliver this level of computational power on a commercial scale. And I know that's a big claim. I know it is. So let me quickly show you an example you're probably familiar with. You've probably already used this, ChatGPT. Chances are, you've probably heard of this. It's the AI chatbot taking the world by storm. After all, ChatGPT can do some truly amazing things, like generate brand new stories, draft up lines of computer code, and even solve complicated math problems. But how can it do all this? One word: data. It's trained on enormous amounts of data. Specifically, ChatGPT was trained on over 300 billion words. Essentially, every piece of text ever written in history up till 2021, ChatGPT had to crunch that text, all of that data. And in order to crunch all those words and all that data, you need a blazing fast AI chip. You need the supercomputer of all supercomputers to crunch that data, and it crunched it for over a year. The Crown Jewel is the fastest AI chip in the world, and it's not even close. Here's what I mean. AI researchers recently held a race to test the speed of the Crown Jewel against some of the fastest chips on the planet. The chips were put in 8 different races, almost all of which were designed to see how fast they could train AI models. But what happened next stunned the researchers. Out of 8 categories, the Crown Jewel crushed every other chip in every category. The researchers wrote, Nvidia's Crown Jewel dominates every single benchmark. In one test, the Crown Jewel was even more than 10 times faster than its closest competitor from Intel. What an amazing thing. Intel was the leader of computer chip making for decades. This Crown Jewel, 10 times faster. And between you and me, it doesn't look like anyone's going to catch Nvidia anytime soon. The executive vice president for one Wall Street firm said Nvidia will be the dominant computing engine that drives artificial intelligence for the next decade. So as you can see, Nvidia has a long-term advantage over its competition, and it's all thanks to this Crown Jewel, the fastest AI chip on the market. Big tech, they can't wait to get their hands on this device. But why? Because the faster you can train an AI model, the faster you can start making money. In short, faster computing speeds means big dollar signs. That's why Amazon, Google, Facebook, Elon Musk, they're buying these Crown Jewels by the truckload. They're all building and training their own AI supercomputers, and they need to get them to market as fast as possible. They're in a race. Mark my words, Crown Jewels are spreading to every corner of the globe, and their coming deployment will change our world in ways that are virtually impossible to imagine now. Let me show you a few concrete examples of how this device will change your day-to-day life. The AI Crown Jewel, disruption number 1, the end of all human diseases. This is a chart of Gilead Sciences. It soared more than 560 times over decades. This is a chart of Biogen. It soared more than 1,300 times over the same period. This is a chart of Amgen. It ripped more than 5,100 times since the 80s. So what do these 3 stocks have in common? The answer is simple. Each one developed a breakthrough drug treatment that improved the lives of millions of people. And thanks to the Crown Jewel, we're about to see a colossal wave of breakthrough treatments heading our way, much faster than any other time in human history. Here's what I mean. Every single year, pharmaceutical companies pour billions of dollars to find cures for things like dementia and cancer and heart disease and on and on. But right now, that process is slow, risky, and expensive. For example, did you know, on average, it takes 12 years and more than $2 billion to bring a new drug to market? Even worse, the failure rate for drug approval is insanely high. 90% of drugs fail the clinical trial process. And that's because they either have too many side effects or they have no effect at all. But thanks to AI, that is all changing as we speak, and here's why. Nvidia recently started working with a drug discovery company. They're using AI chips to train a supercomputer that assists with each step of the drug discovery process. That means it's using artificial intelligence to identify a molecule for a therapeutic compound, produce a novel drug candidate, and even predict the outcome of clinical trials. As I said, this process could normally cost billions and take more than a decade to finish, but with drug-hunting supercomputers powered by artificial intelligence, they did it in a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time. Just $40 million and 2 years. That's 98% cheaper and 5 times faster. Believe it or not, their first AI-designed drug is entering phase 2 clinical trials right now. It's candidate for pulmonary fibrosis, a rare respiratory disease. What's more, this startup has 30 more programs in the pipeline to target other diseases, including various forms of cancers. In fact, they've used AI to develop a potential treatment for cancer in just 30 days. So with results like these, It's no wonder other companies are using AI to accelerate the drug discovery process as well. For example, another startup recently started the first clinical human trials with a novel therapy for ALS, a neurodegenerative disease which currently has no cure. At the University of Central Florida, researchers developed a new AI model that can predict with 97% accuracy how well a drug will work. Google's lab, DeepMind, trained an AI supercomputer to predict the structure of over 200 million proteins. Researchers say it's the greatest scientific achievement by artificial intelligence. Why? Because if we can understand the shape of a specific protein, then we can understand its specific function and ultimately use that information to create new therapies for genetic diseases. Make no mistake, this is a quantum leap forward in modern medicine. It realistically brings us one step closer to ending some truly terrible human diseases, maybe even all of them. Plus, when you add the crown jewel to the equation, I predict this drug discovery trend will blast off into warp speed. So as you can see, AI is already powering deep disruptions around us. And with the crown jewel hitting the market, these disruptions are about to take over even faster. It will radically change your day-to-day life, even including the way you travel on a daily basis. Here's how. The AI crown jewel disruption number 2, the end of human drivers. According to a recent study from Intel, self-driving technology will grow into a $7 trillion market over the coming decades. But in order to get there, it's going to require much faster computing speeds. You see, for self-driving cars to reach widespread adoption, they'll need to crunch billions of calculations to recognize their visual surroundings. Everything from object detection to sensor fusion to image recognition. Each one of these functions requires tremendous computational ability. Let me put it to you like this. Imagine if you had to solve a million-piece puzzle every split second. That's the challenge right now of self-driving cars. But that's also why the crown jewel is the perfect solution. Technically speaking, it contains 80 billion transistors, enabling it to excel at a special kind of function called parallel processing, which means it can handle multiple calculations all at the same time. It takes a problem, divides it up into potentially a billion problems, and solves it all together in parallel. It's uniquely engineered for blazing fast processing speeds. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at Tesla, the leader in self-driving technology and the most valuable car company in the world. Elon Musk recently confirmed he's using the crown jewel to speed up Tesla's self-driving capabilities. In fact, Tesla just revealed a brand new $300 million AI supercomputer. And guess what? It's powered by a cluster of 10,000 of these crown jewels. And its sole purpose? To power up Tesla's computer vision and image recognition. It's one of the most powerful supercomputers ever created, and it'll bring Tesla one step closer to putting fully autonomous vehicles on the road. So as you can see, the crown jewel is already being used in self-driving technology. It's turning driverless cars from a pie-in-the-sky fantasy to a reality on the road. So what does this mean for you? Well, that's great news, because autonomous vehicle stocks have handed everyday people some of the most explosive investing opportunities over the past decade. Like Aptiv, which develops software for self-driving technology. It has shot up as high as 11-fold over the past 10 years. Ambarella, which creates computer vision applications, up as much as 36 times over the past 9 years. And of course, the stock we all love to talk about, Tesla, it was up as much as 389 times since it went public in 2010. So as you can see, the AI crown jewel is powering multiple disruptions, multiple investment opportunities, all across a wide variety of industries. It will drastically slash the cost of your prescription medication, it'll change how you travel across the country, but most importantly, it'll deeply impact the technological fabric of the American economy as well. Just see what I mean. The AI crown jewel, disruption number 3, the end of human coders. It's no secret our lives are becoming more and more dependent on technology and the fabric of computer code behind that technology. And as you might know, writing code is a highly specialized skill reserved only for those with highly technical training. But thanks to AI, and especially the crown jewel, the barrier to writing code is collapsing, and it will unleash an enormous wave of wealth at the same time. Because right now, big tech makes the best software products because they have the deepest pockets so they can hire the smartest coders. And in some cases, software engineers can even make over $1 million a year. But with AI, virtually anyone can write code and build out new tech products. For example, did you know there are AI programs powered by the crown jewel that can already write 80% of coding first drafts, debug code, and automatically suggest new code as well? And did you know that 100 million people across the world are already using this technology? I mean, it's unbelievable. You heard it right. 100 million people and counting are using AI to write code. Look, this is the first time in history that humans are using software to write software. And this coding revolution will be as disruptive as the printing press, which democratized basic literacy for thousands of people across the world. But why is this important? Because thanks to AI, everyone is a computer coder right now. Peter Diamandis, a famous tech futurist and a frequent guest on my podcast, even asked whether there will be any coders in 5 years. His point? Coding will no longer be an exclusive club for tech nerds. It'll be more like basic digital literacy for everyday people. No different than checking your email today. And the crown jewel? It's already powering state-of-the-art programs enabling people to generate code. So, as millions of people start writing code, more software products will flood the market faster than ever before, and it'll have astonishing consequences on the global economy. Companies that harness the power of AI-generated code could potentially grow much bigger and much faster than even some of the biggest tech giants of today. One CEO of an AI startup predicted there's going to be a bunch of trillion-dollar companies. What does it mean for you? Well, of course, that's really exciting because some of the most impressive stock gains have come from software companies, like Salesforce, up more than 125 times since 2004, Adobe, up more than 3,500 times over decades, and of course, the granddaddy of them all, Microsoft, up as much as 6,100 times over the same period, and enough to turn $1,000 into more than $6.1 million. But yet, as impressive as these gains are, I predict it is nothing compared to what the crown jewel will do in the future. You just see for yourself. The AI crown jewel, disruption number 4, the fourth industrial revolution. Consulting firm McKinsey recently published this stunning forecast. It predicts AI's impact on the GDP, the gross domestic product, will dwarf the impact of some of the most disruptive technologies of all time. For example, it expects AI will have 2 times the impact of the information technology wave of the 2000s. And it expects AI will have 4 times the impact of the steam engine, which, by the way, was one of the most formative technologies of history and powered the entire Industrial Revolution. When you connect the dots, you'll see black and white evidence that AI is powering what Forbes calls the fourth industrial revolution. Look closely, and you'll see the evidence is crystal clear. In the field of real estate, AI chatbots are already writing up property listings. In the legal field, it's automatically drafting up contracts. In the medical field, AI has already helped treat 3 million people, and it could soon give you a more accurate diagnosis than your doctor and at a much cheaper price too. On Wall Street, 56% of hedge funds are already using AI to generate investment ideas. In media, AI programs are already composing songs and writing movie scripts, and it won't be long until a #1 hit single is entirely generated by AI. For internet search, the AI application ChatGPT already gives answers that are more accurate than Google. Keep in mind, Google owns 90% of the search market and is worth over $1 trillion, and they make most of their money from ad revenue. But according to the creator of Gmail, Google's email service, the tech giant, will be out of business in 2 years. That explains why Google sounded the alarm and issued a code red to their employees. AI is an existential threat to their entire business. I mean, who would have thought that you could even suggest Google might have a problem staying in business? And I could go on and on with more examples, but we don't have time. By now, you get the picture. The disruption is here. It's happening now. And if you don't take action, you'll miss the biggest money-making opportunity, honestly, since the dawn of the internet. Like Intel, the biggest computer chip maker of the 1990s, it 58x'd in 10 years. Qualcomm, up 223 times over the same period. Cisco, up 1,000 times in a decade. Now again, who knows? No one can guarantee these kinds of rare and exceptional returns. But if there was ever a massive opportunity with life-changing potential, this is it, the crown jewel, the envelope-sized device that lies at the heart of the AI boom. A boom that's reaching a tipping point right as we speak, right now. Remember, important to remember, AI will be 3 times bigger than the internet. It's a $150 trillion megatrend, but it's also taking off much faster than previous internet technologies as well. Just take a look at this incredible chart. This chart shows the time it took for popular technologies to reach 100 million users. Just look at this. Twitter, it took 5 years to reach the 100 million user milestone. Facebook, 4.5 years. Instagram, 2.5 years. What about ChatGPT, the world's most popular AI technology? A technology that was powered with a chip that's up to 30 times slower than the crown jewel. 64 days. It reached 100 million users in just over 2 months. It is, without exaggeration, the fastest growing technology in the history of civilization. We're living in such a fascinating time. In all of civilization, this is the fastest to reach 100 million users. And that's why big tech isn't waiting around. They want to compete. They want to win. They're diving in head first. They're training AI supercomputers. And they're ordering crown jewels by the thousands to get it done. According to my research, the disruption caused by the wave of crown jewel deployments will be unlike anything else we've ever seen. I mean, Goldman Sachs predicts AI could impact up to 300 million jobs. Consulting firm McKinsey thinks that number might even be on the low side. They predict AI will impact 800 million jobs. This technology will rewrite the global economy from the ground floor up, which is exactly why the money-making potential is out of this world. For example, researchers at ARK Invest predict by the end of the decade, more than 50% of the global stock market's value will come from technologies underpinned by artificial intelligence. 50%. That means that's quite literally trillions of dollars in new wealth up for grabs. And owning the little-known supplier behind the crown jewel cuts you in immediately. But, and this is important, you do need to act fast, because OpenAI, the startup that's behind ChatGPT, is reportedly launching an exponentially more powerful AI. And it's going to require 10 million crown jewels to do it. For reference, ChatGPT was originally trained on a chip that's 30 times slower than the crown jewel, and they only use 10,000 chips. That means this new AI model would be 30,000 times more powerful, which would make it the most advanced artificial intelligence on the planet, something the likes of which the world has never seen. And by the time that AI supercomputer goes live, it's over. It'll be too late. AI will reach a point of no return, and its impact will be undeniably present in every aspect of our day-to-day lives. That's why every single moment that you wait right now is an opportunity that is gone for good. Just look what's already happening with AI stocks. Over the past 12 months, Nerdy, a company that is transforming how people learn by using AI, has doubled. Nvidia has more than tripled. C3.ai has quadrupled. And Big Bear ripped 7 times over in just 2 months. So now you might be wondering, and I would be if I were you, what is the best way to play this historic megatrend? Well, I am glad you asked, because here are my best ideas and the steps you should take immediately. Step number 1, buy the little-known supplier behind Nvidia's crown jewel. Nvidia is an incredible company. It's the first chip stock to hit $1 trillion market cap. They hold about 95% of the market for advanced AI computing chips. and their dominance is expected to continue well into the decade as big tech continues to throw billions of dollars at them. But as you've seen, Nvidia's stock has already popped above $500, so it's not exactly cheap anymore. That's the bad news. But the good news, Nvidia's mysterious supplier is still flying under the radar. And in my opinion, it's still a screaming buy. It supplies every single crown jewel. It's the only company in the world that can build this technology on a commercial scale, which currently gives them 100% monopoly over the crown jewel. That means every time Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and even Elon Musk place an order for the AI Crown Jewel, this company gets richer and richer and richer along with its shareholders. And as this $150 trillion megatrend continues to roll out, I believe this mysterious supplier will soar to all-time highs over and over and over again, potentially even becoming a $1 trillion stock just like Nvidia. For reasons you'll understand in a moment, I can't reveal all the details about this company right here. So I wrote up my research in a special report called the A.I Crown Jewel, how to cash in on the $150 trillion AI megatrend. In it, you'll get the name, the ticker symbol, and my full detailed analysis on this mysterious supplier. I genuinely believe this is the #1 AI stock that every investor should add to their holdings immediately. And in a moment, I'll show you how to get your hands on this report 100% free of charge. But here's the thing. That's only part of the opportunity I want to share. And that's because I have another idea to help you profit from the crown jewel. Step number 2, buy the secret technology behind the AI crown jewel. As you can imagine, developing a piece of technology as sophisticated and as powerful as the crown jewel isn't easy. After all, the crown jewel is made with the Earth's purest metals. It's produced with the world's most expensive machines. It requires 1,500 carefully planned steps, each one executed with pinpoint precision. And there's one piece of computer engineering equipment that's absolutely vital to making this AI chip. Chip experts even believe this is the most important technology in the entire AI supply chain. And the best part, there's only one company in the whole world that makes this special piece of computer engineering equipment. In short, this company is the secret supplier behind Nvidia's crown jewel supplier. It's like the picks and shovels of the picks and shovels. And for you, that is incredible news, because as you've seen, when great companies launch big breakthroughs, supplier stocks can absolutely fly. Remember when Apple released the iPhone back in the 2000s? Its supplier stocks took off, like Micron, up as much as 19 times since then, Skyworks, up 29 times, and Broadcom, up 78 times, enough to turn every $10,000 investment into $780,000. Now, of course, I can't guarantee rare moonshots like these, but according to my research, this secretive tech supplier could throw off massive gains as more crown jewel orders pile in from big tech. I wrote up all the details on this company and put it in a second special report called Own the Secret Technology Behind the AI Crown Jewel. Together, these two reports will give you everything you need to take advantage of this situation immediately. But before you do that, I have another profit opportunity I have been dying to share with you. Step number 3, buy 3 AI stocks for fortune building upside. One of the best strategies for generating wealth is to put yourself in front of a massive exponential trend. Then buy the best companies with 5x, 10x, or even 100x potential. The internet boom, as you've seen, produced dozens of companies that made fortunes for shareholders, like Intel, up as much as 58 times in 10 years. Qualcomm, up as much as 223 times over the same period. Cisco, up an amazing 1,000 times over a decade. And as you've seen, we could see history repeat itself with the AI boom. Now, of course, you should never bet the farm on any single investment. But AI is set to grow into a $150 trillion megatrend. So I think it's worth putting some speculation capital into AI plays with explosive upside potential. Specifically, me and my research team are looking for smaller, under-the-radar companies that fit the following criteria. These companies, we're looking specifically for companies that are 1, developing a leading-edge technology. 2, consistently growing their revenue. 3, have a small market cap or have a massive total addressable market, meaning a lot of potential customers. And 4, this is very important, must have an urgent catalyst in the near future that's going to send their stock price soaring higher. Of course, finding these hidden gems requires hundreds, if not thousands of hours of research. You'd have to fully understand what these little-known companies are trying to do, and you'd have to fully understand their financial prospects. But luckily, my team and I have done all the heavy lifting for you. We've zeroed in on 3 companies with the technological superiority to become some of the biggest winners of the AI boom. And I've put my full write-up in a 3rd special report for you called The Top 3 Speculations for the AI Boom. Again, if you're aiming for maximum profit potential, I strongly recommend you add these 3 stocks to your holdings immediately. Once you get your hands on all 3 special reports, you'll know the #1 supplier behind the A.I Crown Jewel. You'll know the one company that makes the critical piece of computing engineering equipment that makes the Crown Jewel possible. You'll know 3 AI speculations set to soar alongside this $150 trillion megatrend. Altogether, these 3 reports will give you everything you need to get in position for this world-changing revolution. Let me be perfectly clear. You're about to have a dominant advantage over everyone else who doesn't have access to this special kind of information. So let me show you how to get it right now. And if you're like me, you're probably getting bombarded by dozens of ads every day promising you riches from artificial intelligence, from so-called AI gurus. Ugh. But here's the thing. I've been working with AI, artificial intelligence, computer technology almost my whole life. Seriously. I got my undergraduate degree in computer science from Cornell University. When I was 22, I published a thesis on machine learning, a subset of AI. I presented that paper at an AI conference in Kaiserslautern, Germany, where I was the youngest person there among dozens of hardcore AI professors. I attended grad school at Carnegie Mellon, the university where AI was practically invented decades ago. Moreover, I was also the head programmer for a project funded by Caterpillar, the multi-billion-dollar construction equipment company. I was tasked with building an AI program that could translate their operating manuals into almost every single language on the planet. Later, I launched one of the first hedge funds on Wall Street that used AI to trade stocks, and I grew that fund to $55 million. And I even wrote a book about it called Trade Like a Hedge Fund. At one point, I was a spokesperson for Fidelity. They had developed this trading software called Wealth Lab, and I gave dozens of speeches around the country on their behalf explaining how I use their software to program my own AI-based trading systems. Of course, I don't mention any of this to brag, but just to say, when it comes to artificial intelligence, I understand the technology. I'm personally friends with some of the founding inventors in this space, which means I have access to insights that hedge funds, financial planners, and even US politicians don't have access to. And every single month, I write up these valuable insights in a monthly research advisory called Altiture's Investment Network. Altiture's Investment Network is a widely read publication enjoyed by over 100,000 loyal readers across the world. It's the only place at all, where I share my latest investing ideas, like under-the-radar technology opportunities that you've seen here today. Me and my research team are constantly working around the clock, conducting interviews, meeting with CEOs, and sifting through financial research with one sole mission in mind: to put you on the ground of the next breakthrough technology stocks before they become household names, and that's the key. As you know, AI will supercharge virtually every other technology sector, and that explains why my letter covers more than just AI. You have to. All of these things are connected now. I dive deep into other exponential trends, trends with the ability to deliver outsized returns like biotechnology, autonomous vehicles, robotics, crypto, and much, much more. So as this $150 trillion megatrend starts to shape the world around us, Altucher's investment network will serve as your personal money-making compass, helping you navigate this new world of opportunity. In a way, it's kind of like having me and my team guide you to the most explosive wealth-building ideas, while working, of course, to steer you clear of any pitfalls. You see, Altucher's investment network is about more than just getting a monthly research advisory. It's a place where you'll be welcomed into my private circle of close connections. That way, you'll constantly have your thumb on the pulse of today's cutting-edge breakthroughs. For example, I regularly conduct interviews with some of those powerful people in the investing world and some of the sharpest minds in Silicon Valley. Like, take an example, Kai-Fu Lee. He was featured in Time Magazine's top 100 most influential people in artificial intelligence. I had him on my podcast 3 times. He's widely regarded as the father of AI speech recognition. He was also the founding director of Microsoft Research in Asia and the president of Google China. Then there's Peter Thiel, the famous venture capitalist and an early backer of Facebook. And then, of course, there's Sir Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin Galactic. Both have been featured on my podcast. And of course, I don't say this to boast, but simply to make a point. When you become the newest member to Altucher's investment network today, it's almost like you get direct access to some of the wealthiest and most influential people of our time. That explains why the published price for a 1-year subscription to this special advisory is $299. But today, you will not pay anything near that price. Why? Because in my own life, I've seen some extraordinary returns by investing in some of the biggest technology trends of our time. For example, I saw gains as high as 5,700% in 5 years from the internet, 3,780% in 6 years from social media, and a peak gain of 12,000% in just over 4 years from crypto, making me millions in the process. So as you can see, I've personally experienced great fortune investing in exponential trends. And right now, I want to pass that good fortune on to you. That's why you're not going to pay the full published price. In fact, I worked out a deal with my publisher that you're absolutely going to love. I'll give you the full details in a moment. But first, I want to share a few life-changing bonuses that you'll get just for taking action right now. For starters, when you become our newest member today, I want to introduce you to someone very special in my network. He's a highly respected technology analyst. He's the man who issued a buy alert on Nvidia back when it was trading for just $3 split adjusted. And today, well, it's even topped $500 a share at some points. And now he'll be working for you. Specifically, he's the head analyst behind a special portfolio that you'll receive called the $1 Million AI Portfolio, the top buy and hold AI stocks to turn $10,000 into $1 million. And again, it's all yours, 100% free of charge when you say yes today. But I'm not done yet, because when you join Altucher's investment network, you'll receive a second bonus called the Quarterly AI Summit. The Quarterly AI Summit is a series of live video calls. It's my invitation for you to sit in and be a part of my inner circle as I tell you exactly what's unfolding in the AI space in real time. These calls will be jam-packed with insider information and breaking developments that you simply will not find anywhere else. Then, there's also my monthly mastermind interviews, where I interview some of the most influential people in the artificial intelligence space and more. After listening in on these calls, you'll be one of the smartest and most knowledgeable AI investors in the country. It's definitely something you don't want to miss. But I also want to throw in a fourth bonus. It's called the AI Catalyst Calendar. With my research team, I've identified a series of market-moving catalyst events, catalysts that could potentially send specific AI stocks soaring higher. I'm talking about big trigger events like government policies, major corporate announcements, blockbuster partnerships. This calendar will help you get ready for explosive events, days, weeks, and even months before they occur. So with all of that said, let me recap everything you'll get when you join Altucher's Investment Network right now. You'll receive 12 issues of my monthly research advisory, Altucher's Investment Network, which has like a $299 value. Free report number 1, the A.I Crown Jewel, how to cash in on the $150 trillion AI Megatrend, which has a value of $199. Free report number 2, own the secret technology behind the A.I Crown Jewel. I am so excited about this one. Value $199. Free report number 3, the top 3 speculations for the AI boom. Value $199. Bonus number 1, the $1 million AI portfolio, the top buy and hold AI stocks to turn $10,000 into $1 million. Bonus number 2, the quarterly AI summit. Bonus number 3, monthly mastermind interviews. Bonus number 4, the AI Catalyst calendar. And also, on top of that, weekly updates. You'll receive updates every week on breaking developments about the opportunities that I may recommend. And also, exclusive members-only website access, where you'll get access to all of my model portfolios, along with a collection of back issues, special reports. Many of those have opportunities you can take advantage of right away. As I've said, the published price for a 1-year subscription is $299. But if you act through this page right now, you won't pay anywhere near that price, because when you say a yes today, my publisher will give you a $250 discount, which you can apply instantly and get everything you see here for just $49. That comes out to what, 13 cents a day? And I think this is an absolute bargain for everything you're going to get in return. I wholeheartedly believe this is the best deal in the business. And just to prove it to you, I'm willing to put my name and money on the line by giving you an industry-leading guarantee, which makes this an absolute no-brainer decision for you. When you say yes and become the newest member of Altucher's Investment Network, you don't need to make a final decision today. Instead, I want you to take 6 full months to look over everything. I want you to immediately download the 3 special reports. I want you to look over the $1 million AI portfolio. I want you to come and join me for the quarterly AI summits. I want you to download the Catalyst calendar. And then, if for any reason, or no reason at all, you're not absolutely thrilled about being a member of Altucher's Investment Network, just give our customer service team a call, and they'll give you a full 100% refund immediately. No questions asked, no strings attached. That way, for those in the audience and for you sitting at home, you'll get to see everything, experience everything, and take advantage of everything with absolutely nothing to lose. That does sound like a pretty fair deal. So don't wait another moment. Millions of crown jewels are ramping up into mass production right now. I'd hate for you to miss out on this $150 trillion megatrend. I personally think it's the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm so excited about this and so excited to be able to offer this. So go ahead, click the Join Now button below. Clicking the button, remember, it doesn't obligate you to anything. It'll simply take you to a secure order page where you can review this generous offer in full. Okay, look, that's it. That's the end of today's presentation. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to learn about the AI Crown Jewel, and I look forward to having you join as our newest member. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Thank you.